Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today we're going to make a little Spider-Man Far From Home video. I haven't seen the video, the movie just yet. Sadly, it's not out yet in my neck of the wood. From what I understand, it started playing overseas. I think it's playing in China right now. It's going to start playing in the United States, I think, next Tuesday. And sadly, up here in the Great White North, it's going to start playing only next Friday. So I won't be able to see the movie until next Friday anyway. But I thought we could make a little fun Spider-Man Far From Home video. Some of you guys have been asking about various Spider-Man video. So let's get this party started. Of course, we are going to start showing the main character, which is Spider-Man. As you can see, using the streak slimline chest piece. The pants, I think these are the tertiary slimlines. For the gloves, normally I would not put gloves on this on a Spider-Man character, but for some reason for Spider-Man Far From Home, they tweaked the costume a little and somehow they made the gloves blue. You have to wonder why they always need to tweak something that doesn't really need to be changed, and sometimes it's tweaks so minor that no one noticed. But anyways, so somehow they made the gloves of our friend Spider-Man blue. So normally I would recreate a Spider-Man without using gloves, but today we are using the aeronaut gloves. And of course I'm using the spider emblem, although the turtle emblem would be a bit closer to the emblem that our friend Spider-Man has, but I just prefer the spider emblem. The spider emblem looks pretty cool, so even though it's not quite accurate, I prefer to use that. So here you can see I'm not using any boots. Normally you should be able to recreate your friend Spider-Man with the tertiary slimline pants without using boots. If you need to use boots, there's the nuclear boots that could do the trick. Or you could use the Stalwart Defender boots. I will show you the Stalwart Defender boots in just a minute. You'll see the difference. So here you can see with the Stalwart Defender boots, basically with the materials, the chroma material, you want to have a pair of boots that is only one color, and the Stalwart Defender boots work well enough. Sadly, the nuclear boots, they have all three colors in the nuclear boots, so in this case the Stalwart Defender boots works a bit better. And here I recreated a somewhat Iron Spider. I had made this version I think in another video, but now let's show it again. So here with the Joker punchline back, we can recreate the mechanical arms that Spider-Man had in Infinity Wars and Endgames afterwards. I suspect, at least at the start of the film, he seems to start with his Iron Spider outfit. The suit is pretty much everything you had seen before. And I forgot to mention the goggles. The goggles are the Catwoman goggles, and here you can see with the red chroma material, they look pretty darn awesome. So to get the Iron Spider look, obviously you need the red chroma material. Obviously it doesn't look like the Iron Spider costume from the movie, but it is a Spider-Man costume and it looks like it's made of iron, so it kind of combines the best of both worlds. You have the classic design, but with the texture of the Iron Spider suit, if it makes any sense. I will show an alternative in just a second. So even though this doesn't have quite the pattern, like I couldn't find the chest piece that had the patterns, and also with the chroma material, the way it separates the colors, there just wasn't a suit that actually worked. Although there is an alternative that kind of sort of works. Let's take a look. Here I'm using the Traces in Time chest piece and pants, and it sort of kind of suggests our little friend the Iron Spider. Again, it's not the same pattern, but it works well enough that people won't understand if they saw you with that look, that you're creating the Iron Spider-Man costume from Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame. So again, it's pretty much all the same gear. Here the distinction is the Traces in Time chest piece and the pants. And in Spider-Man Far From Home, they will introduce some sort of stealth costume for Spider-Man. I assume they have a story reason for that. Again, I didn't see the movie just yet. All I based these on were from the trailers. Here I'm using the Argus chest piece and the pants. Although it's a little bit too bulky, it looks a little bit too much like armor. So let's try it with something else. Here the strap scales looks a little closer to the look of the costume from the movie, or at least from the trailers that I saw. The one exception is the scales. The costume shouldn't have scales, it should just be made of fabric all around. So sadly, sometimes you have to make a compromise. For the gloves, I'm using the Astro gloves, basically the Orion gloves, but I guess you have to make a choice. Either you choose the suit that looks a bit more like what the costume looks like in the movie, or you go for something that doesn't exactly look like the movie, but that is looking a little bit more awesome, that doesn't have all those scales. So you decide, either you go with the strap and the scales, or you go with the Argus suit. You make the choice. And spoiler alerts, in case you know nothing about Spider-Man, there's going to be a handful of Spider-Man villains. There's going to be a handful of villains in the Spider-Man Far From Home movie, but from what we saw, the main villain will be the evil Mysterio. I'm saying spoiler alerts because pretty much any Spider-Man fans know that Mysterio is an evil bad guy, but in the trailers they try to set him up as some sort of good guy. So it might be a spoiler for people who aren't familiar with the character from the comics. And here you can see you can create a pretty darn good version of our friend Mysterio. Although for the aura, I cheated a bit. I used an aura that I never use. So for the material, the green part is the green chroma material. The back piece is the purple chroma material. But for the headpiece, I'm using the shimmer material. The shimmer material with the spindrift headpiece creates a perfect Mysterio helmet. I'm sure we could get something a bit closer, but within the context of this universe online, this is as close as you can get, and it's pretty darn good, pretty darn almost perfect. Although in the trailers we saw him with a different costume, I'll show that costume in just a minute. But there is a rumor that supposedly we are going to be able to get the classic Mysterio costume in the Far From Home movie. So this here is pretty darn close to the classic look that the character had in the comics. So again, it's the spindrift headpiece with the shimmer material. The back piece is the classic back piece. The chest and the pants, that's the scuba chest and pants. The boots, as I mentioned, that's the nuclear boots. And the gloves, it's the Egyptian sorcerer gloves. And then if you just add some sort of smoke effects, ideally green smoke effects would probably be more accurate, but I thought the purple Nimbus aura worked well enough. So we can create a pretty darn good version of our friend Mysterio, the classic version of the character. Let's take a look now at the movie version of the character. Here we have something that's pretty darn close to the look of the character. Although I'm not sure why they went with some sort of gold chest piece. I think it's a design that comes from the Ultimate Universe version of the character. So sadly it's a trend that they've been doing in movies for some time. Instead of doing the classic version of the characters, they try to make the ultimate version of the characters. Technically the Avengers is a nod, a mishmash of the classic Avengers and the Ultimate Avengers. And the same would be true also for Spider-Man, the latest Spider-Man. One of the complaints that I've seen people comment on is that not only are they using elements from the Ultimate Spider-Man character, but they're using elements from the Ultimate Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man character. For the Fantastic Four, they did the very same thing. They went straight to the Ultimate version of the character when they tried to reboot the series, and it was pretty much a disaster. I'm not sure why they keep on going to the Ultimate character, which, except for a few exceptions, never really was that popular to begin with. But anyway. So here we can see our friend Mysterio. For the chest piece, there's the Archangel chest piece, but there's a handful of chest pieces that could be used to recreate that look. The pants, these are the quick suit pants. These are the regular version of the quick suit. The boots, there's any number of boots. These are the Hush boots. I forget the actual name. Vengeful Surgeon boots. On the shoulders, that's the Shazam shoulders, the magical champion shoulders. The back piece, it's still the classical back piece. So basically, I gave it. And the gold part, it's the gold material. So right now I'm using the shimmer material for the headpiece and the gold for everything that is gold. I was tempted to use the chroma material, the purple chroma material for the back piece, but I decided let's keep it a bit more simple. Obviously, you could add an aura if you like. You could add the purple chroma material if you like. You decide. So this is pretty darn close to the version that we've seen in the trailers. Again, I've heard online that they are going to use the classical look of the costume, the classical costume for their character. I'm not sure why they're going to go use the classical and then switch to this version, or vice versa. But anyways, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see the movie to be able to know why they're changing the costume, or if it's even true that the classic costume will be in the movie. I wouldn't be surprised if people saw this costume and thought this was the classic costume. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. So that is going to be pretty much it for our Spider-Man Far From Home video. Did you guys see Spider-Man Far From Home already? If you did, what did you think of it? Ideally, please do not post spoilers if you did see it. Let's try to not to ruin it for everyone who did not get the chance to see it yet. But as this month goes by, as the week goes by, let us know if you saw the movie and what you thought of it. So that is going to be it for now, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your question. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.